Being a huge fan of 2D platformers, Wooden Sen'Sey had me hooked early on with its delightful visuals and charming presentation. The game promised a vibrant adventure in a steampunk Japanese setting with a wooden peg-like character who sounds like a stereotyped drunken master. Unfortunately, no matter how beautiful the packaging, it always comes down to gameplay and whether the experience is enjoyable, and on that front, Wooden Sen'Sey falls a bit short in some areas. The story is set in a beautifully portrayed world, overflowing with medieval Japan references. The visuals are vibrant and absolutely wonderful to look at, whether you're in a bamboo forest with subtle cherry blossoms slowly falling to the ground, under the water, or up in an airship. Accompanying this is a wonderful soundtrack which combines classic Japanese instruments with some elements of modern rock. The combination is perfect, and the overall presentation can stand toe-to-toe with Nintendo's own platformers. The premise of the story is some mysterious evil thing in a machine has stolen all of the village's bottles, which one can easily presume is sake, and now the village elder Goro is out for revenge. As far as 2D platformers go, you don't need much of a story, and this one is perfect. Short, simple, to the point, and gets you on your way to what's important: gameplay. As the Wooden Sen'Sey, your only weapon will be a Kasurigama, or more simply put, two short skies on ropes. With this weapon you can attack in front of you, jump up and down attack to smash the ground, or hit L or R to send your Kasurigama flying upwards, and if they hook onto something you can swing from them. These are unique and fun mechanics, but unfortunately they're all accessible from the first stage and no new gameplay elements are ever added in again, making the journey monotonous after a few levels. The game introduces these controls first through motion controls, where to execute the ground pound you must first jump, then slam your gamepad downwards, and to swing left and right you have to tilt your gamepad once your weapons are anchored to the ceiling. Luckily these are optional and can be deactivated in the menu in lieu of more traditional controls. The ground pound attack is a fun one to use and will get you to new platforms as well as dispatch enemies. The only downside is the inability to chain this attack into combos, instead having to land Goro each time before attacking again. This may sound like a minor flaw, but there's a lot of potential lost here in not being able to simultaneously kill enemies with the attack continuously. Overall, the controls just felt like they weren't explored to their full potential. The game itself offers a good mixture of environments and appropriate enemies to fight in each level. One complaint I have is the questionable nature of enemies in this game. They're barely a hazard until the final part of the game. Touching enemies will result in nothing happening, and most of them can be safely disposed of by standing on their heads and ground pounding them a few times. The enemies feel less like opponents and more like collectibles that have to be attacked to claim, as each level tracks how many of the enemies you've killed. Due to the game lacking any new abilities as you progress, the difficulty curve tends to suddenly rise out of nowhere, being too easy at first and just frustratingly hard later. Early on you'll find yourself enjoying the scenery and admiring the humorous nature of the game, but by the third level you'll be bored with the repetitive and unrewarding challenges that require more patience than actual skill. Each campaign level has 3 challenges to complete, including collecting all the sake bottles, killing all the enemies, and beating the developer's best time. The game also comes with achievements, and there's a time attack challenge mode in the form of a complete separate minigame, which I would argue provides more fun and rewarding challenges than the actual campaign. In time attacks, you'll navigate through 30 special miniature levels collecting large sake containers. Depending on your time, you'll be awarded a gold, silver, or bronze medals, which are required to unlock the next challenge. To conclude, the game is stunning to look at and has a lot of content at a great price. However, the most important part, which is the core game mechanics, leaves much to be desired, and will make what could have been a masterpiece just another mediocre platformer. The difficulty curve starts off too easy and quickly ramps up to frustrating due to limited controls and tedious hazards. There's very little reward or sense of achievement once the challenges are overcome. Remember, for more Nintendo indie game reviews, keep it to nintendoenthusiast.com.